The moon of Theta 7 was a dead world of dust and broken rocks. Captain Marcus Chin walked carefully through the gray wasteland, his rifle ready. The war had brought him to many terrible places, but this moon felt different. Something was wrong here. His scanner beeped. There was metal nearby. Fresh metal. Marcus moved toward the signal and stopped. In front of him was a crashed escape pod. It was not human. The design was smooth and curved, with strange symbols glowing faintly on its surface. This was Valkyrie technology. Enemy technology. He approached slowly. The pod was badly damaged. Metal panels were torn open, and smoke drifted from the engines. Whatever had crashed here had come down hard. Marcus pulled open the damaged hatch. Inside, he found her. She was unlike anything he had ever seen. Her skin was pale blue and covered with glowing markings that pulsed weakly like a dying heartbeat. Her hair was silver and long. She wore armor that was cracked and stained with purple blood. Her eyes opened slightly as he entered, revealing irises that swirled like galaxies. She was Valkyrie, the enemy. The aliens humanity had been fighting for 3 long years, but she was also dying. Marcus had killed Valkyrie soldiers before. He had seen their ships burn in space. He had lost friends to their weapons. Every part of his training told him to call for backup, to take her as a prisoner, or to simply walk away and let her die. Then he saw the broken blade on the floor beside her. It was ceremonial, he realized. Beautiful despite being shattered in 2 pieces. The handle was carved with intricate patterns. He had read about these blades in intelligence reports. The Valkyrie used them for a ritual called the Mercy Strike. When a warrior was dying and could not be saved, another warrior would end their suffering with honor. The alien woman followed his eyes to the blade. She understood. Her lips moved, speaking in a language he did not know. But then she switched to broken human speech. "Finish me," she whispered, her voice weak. "Or save me." Marcus picked up the broken blade. It was heavier than it looked. He stared at it, then at her. His radio crackled. "Captain Chen, report your position. We have Valkyrie signatures in your area." He looked at the dying alien, at the purple blood seeping from her wounds, at the desperate hope in her strange eyes. "This is Chen," he said into his radio. "No contact." Must have been a false reading. Continuing patrol. He turned off his radio before they could respond. Marcus dropped the blade and pulled out his medical kit. "I must be crazy," he muttered. The alien woman watched him with surprise as he began treating her wounds. Her blood was different from human blood, thicker and darker. He did not know if human medical supplies would even work on her, but he had to try. "Why?" she whispered in her accented human speech. "I don't know," Marcus admitted. He sealed a deep cut on her arm with synthetic skin. "Maybe I'm tired of killing. Maybe I'm just stupid." She made a sound that might have been a laugh or a cough. "Both," she said weakly. As he worked, Marcus kept checking his scanner. Red dots were appearing. Lots of them. The Valkyrie were coming for her. Of course they were. But there were blue dots too. Human forces were closing in as well. "Can you walk?" Marcus asked. She tried to sit up and collapsed with a gasp of pain. "No," Marcus cursed. He looked around the small pod and spotted what he needed. There were survival supplies in a compartment. He grabbed a thermal blanket and some water packs. "We need to move," he said. "Both sides are coming, and I don't think either of them wants you alive." She looked at him with those swirling eyes. "You understand?" "Understand what?" "Why I run. Why I crash." She coughed, and more purple blood appeared on her lips. "Not all enemies are in front of us." Before Marcus could ask what she meant, his scanner screamed a warning. Ships were landing. Multiple ships. He had minutes at most. He made a decision. Marcus lifted the alien woman as gently as he could. She was lighter than a human her size would be, but still solid. She groaned in pain but did not cry out. "There are caves a kilometer from here," Marcus said. "Old mining tunnels. If we can reach them, we can hide. They will find us." She whispered, "Maybe, but I'm pretty good at hiding." Carried her out of the pod into the gray wasteland of Theta 7. The dust swirled around them as ships roared overhead. Human ships. Velkari ships. All hunting. He ran. The caves appeared ahead like dark mouths in the rocky hills. Marcus's legs burned with effort, and sweat poured down his face inside his helmet. The alien woman had gone quiet in his arms. For a moment, he feared she had died. Then he felt her breathing, shallow but steady. An explosion lit up the sky behind them. The escape pod. Someone had destroyed it. Covering evidence, Marcus realized. This was wrong. All of this was wrong. He reached the caves just as searchlights swept across the area where he had been seconds before. Marcus ducked into the darkness, moving deeper into the tunnel system. His helmet light showed rough stone walls and old mining equipment left to rust. Finally, far from the entrance, he found a small chamber. He laid the alien woman down gently on the stone floor and covered her with the thermal blanket. It would hide her heat signature from scanners. She looked up at him, those galaxy eyes studying his face. "I am Princess Kylara," she said softly. "Third daughter of the Eternal Bloom, heir to the Velkari throne." A princess. He had just saved an enemy princess and made himself a fugitive to both sides. "Captain Marcus Chen," he replied. "Former loyal soldier. Current idiot," Smarking's pulse slightly brighter. "Thank you, Marcus Chen, for choosing to save me." Outside the cave, he could hear the sounds of searching forces. Voices calling in both human and Velkari languages. Ships hovering low. Marcus checked his medical supplies. He had maybe enough to keep her alive for a few days. Maybe. "Don't thank me yet," he said. "We're not safe. Not even close." Kylara closed her eyes. "Then I will thank you when we are." Marcus kept watch at the chamber entrance, rifle ready. He had crossed a line he could never uncross. He had chosen mercy when war demanded vengeance. He just hoped it was the right choice. Part 2. The enemy of my enemy. 3 days had passed since Marcus carried Princess Kylara into the caves. 3 days of hiding, treating her wounds, and listening to the search parties outside grow more desperate. Kylara was stronger now. The human medical supplies had worked, though Marcus still did not understand why. She could sit up without gasping in pain. The glowing markings on her skin pulsed with more life. But they were running out of food and water. Marcus sat near the chamber entrance, watching his scanner. The search patterns had changed. They were more organized now. More thorough. "They will find us soon," Kylara said behind him. Her human speech had improved over the past days. "Your people are very determined." "So are yours," Marcus replied. He turned to look at her. "Why are they so desperate to find you? You're a princess, sure, but you're the third daughter. Not exactly first in line for the throne, eh?" Kylara's expression darkened. Even across species, Marcus could recognize sadness. "I was not running from humans," she said quietly. "I was running from my uncle, Lord Vexther. He killed my father. He killed my sisters. He took the throne that should have gone to them." "What?" Marcus stared at her. "A coup. Yes. Your word for it. A coup." Kylara's hands clenched into fists. He moved quickly. "The royal guard was killed in one night. My father's advisors were executed. I only escaped because my personal guard died to protect me." "And the war?" Marcus asked, already suspecting the answer. "Vexther needed it. The war keeps his power strong. It gives him excuses to control everything." Kylara met his eyes. "But Marcus, I learned something before I escaped." "Something terrible?" She pulled a small data device from her armor. It was damaged, but still glowing faintly.
Ow.
"This contains communications between Vexther and someone on your side. A human admiral. They've been working together." Marcus felt cold. "That's impossible, is it?" Kylara asked. "Think, Marcus. This war has lasted 3 years. Both sides have won battles. Both sides have lost battles. Neither side has truly won. Does that not seem strange?" It did seem strange. Marcus had thought about it before, during long nights on patrol. The war felt endless, pointless, like neither side really wanted to finish it. Who? He demanded. Which admiral? Before Kylara could answer, Marcus's radio crackled to life. He had kept it off, but someone had overridden his controls remotely. Captain Chen. The voice was cold and familiar. Admiral Reeves. Marcus's commanding officer. We know you're on Theta 7. We know you have the Valkyrie Princess. Marcus did not respond. Your orders are simple, Captain. Execute the prisoner. Then report to Extraction Point Gamma for pickup. Do this, and your actions will be forgiven. You'll be a hero. Refuse, and you're a traitor. The radio went dead. Marcus looked at Kylara. She looked back at him. Reeves, she said softly. That is the name on the communications. Admiral Reeves. Marcus laughed, but there was no humor in it. They don't want you as a hostage. They want you dead, because you know too much. As do you now, Kylara pointed out. A new sound came from outside. Different from the search parties, heavier. Marcus checked his scanner and cursed. Valkyrie death squads. The elite hunters. Your uncle sent the best, Marcus said. He sends them to make certain I die, Kylara confirmed. They will not stop. They will not fail. Marcus grabbed his rifle and started checking his ammunition. He did not have much left. Then we need to not be here when they arrive. Where do we go? Kylara asked. Both our peoples want us dead. There's a neutral trading station. 3 days' walk from here. If we push hard, it's run by the Merchants Guild. They don't care about the war. They just want to make money. You think they will help us? No, Marcus admitted. But they might not kill us immediately. That's better than what we have here. Kylara stood, testing her legs. She was still weak, but could walk. Then we go. They gathered what little supplies remained. As they prepared to leave, Kylara touched Marcus's arm. I need to teach you something, she said. If we are to survive Valkyrie hunters, you must know how to hide from our scanners. I'm listening. Your body heat. We see it differently than humans do. But there is a frequency of radiation from Theta 7's core. If you stay near the warm rocks, you blend in. She showed him on his scanner how to identify the right geological formations. Marcus nodded. Smart. What else? Our hunters use sound to triangulate position, but they cannot hear certain frequencies. If you move during the seismic tremors this moon experiences, your footsteps will be masked. They spent an hour with Kylara teaching Marcus everything she knew about Valkyrie hunting tactics. In return, Marcus taught her human guerrilla warfare techniques. How to use the terrain, how to set false trails, how to think like a soldier instead of a princess. You learn quickly, Marcus said. Must. My life depends on it. Kylara smiled slightly. As does yours. They left the cave as night fell on Theta 7. The moon had no real day or night, but the distant sun dipped below the horizon every 12 hours. In the darkness, they moved. Behind them, Marcus heard the sounds of the death squad entering the cave system. Ahead, he saw the heat signatures of human patrols. They were trapped between two forces that wanted them dead, but they had each other now, and they had knowledge. Marcus led them through a path that no tactical database would suggest, through radiation zones that humans avoided and thermal vents that confused Valkyrie scanners. Kylara guided him around areas where Valkyrie had placed sensors and warned him when their hunters got too close. They moved like ghosts through a battlefield. Belonging to neither side, on the second night of travel, they rested in a collapsed mining facility. Marcus took first watch while Kylara slept. He found himself studying her face in the faint light of her bioluminescent markings. She looked peaceful when she slept. Almost human. I know you are watching, Kylara said without opening her eyes. Marcus looked away, embarrassed. Just keep in guard, Marcus, she said, opening those swirling eyes. Why did you really save me? The truth. He thought about it for a long moment. Because I'm tired, he finally said. Tired of killing. Tired of war. When I saw you in that pod, dying and alone, you weren't the enemy. You were just someone who needed help. Maybe I saved you because I needed to prove I'm still human. Still capable of mercy. Lara sat up. Among my people, we have a saying. The warrior who shows mercy shows strength. The warrior who shows only cruelty shows fear. Your people tried to kill you, Marcus pointed out, not my people. Vexthor and those who follow him. There is a difference. She looked at the broken blade Marcus still carried in his pack. You held that blade over me. You could have ended my pain. Instead, you chose the harder path. You chose to save me. That is true strength. Marcus did not know what to say to that. In the distance, an explosion lit up the night. The death squad had found one of their false trails. That would buy them a few hours. We should move, Marcus said. They traveled through the third day, exhausted and running on determination alone. The trading station appeared on the horizon just as Marcus's legs were about to give out. It was an ugly structure of metal and lights. Ships came and went, carrying goods between the war zones. The Merchants Guild cared nothing for human or Valkyrie politics. They only cared for profit. This is it, Marcus said. Our one chance. Kylara looked at the station, then at him. Together? Together, Marcus confirmed. They walked toward the station. Two enemies turned allies, hoping that greed might save them where mercy had failed. Part 3. The Bond of Scars. Trading station was called Haven's End, though Marcus thought the name was ironic. There was nothing safe about this place. Smugglers, mercenaries, and criminals from a dozen species moved through its crowded corridors. But it was neutral territory. The one place where human and Valkyrie could walk side by side, without immediately trying to kill each other. The station master was a Graxian named Thull. He had 4 arms, gray skin, and eyes that saw only profit. He looked at Marcus and Kylara with obvious suspicion when they entered his office. A human soldier and a Valkyrie noble, Thull said, his voice like grinding stones. This will be expensive. We need sanctuary, Marcus said. Just for a few days? Sanctuary costs. Especially when both the human fleet and the Valkyrie Empire are offering rewards for you. Thull's multiple eyes studied them. Dead or alive, though I suspect they prefer dead. Kylara stepped forward. We can pay. With what? You arrive with nothing but the clothes you wear and weapons you carry. With information, Kylara said. Information worth more than any reward. Thull leaned back in his chair. I am listening. But before Kylara could speak, alarms blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed. Thule checked his console and cursed in his own language. You have 10 minutes, he growled. A human warship just appeared at the edge of my station's protection zone. They are demanding I turn you over. You won't do it, Marcus said, though he was not sure. Of course not. Bad for business if I start handing over refugees. But they will board my station anyway if I refuse. Thull stood. So you better have very good information, or I will throw you out an airlock myself to save my station. Marcus and Kylara exchanged glances. They had one chance. The war is fake, Kylara said bluntly. Not the fighting. Not the deaths. Those are real. But the war itself is being controlled by people on both sides who profit from it. She placed her damaged data device on Thull's desk. This contains proof. Communications between my uncle, who stole the Valkyrie throne, and Admiral Reeves of the human fleet. They coordinate attacks to make the war look balanced. They share intelligence to prevent either side from winning. They have killed anyone who discovered the truth. Thull picked up the device with one of his 4 hands. His eyes widened as he read the data. Significant, he admitted. But why should I care? War is good for business. I sell weapons to both sides. You sell weapons, Marcus agreed. But imagine what you could sell if there was peace. Real trade between human and Valkyrie space. New markets. New opportunities. The war keeps both our peoples poor and desperate. Peace would make them rich. Thule considered this. Greed warred with caution in his expression. There is more, Kylara added. The data contains coordinates, locations of mineral deposits that both sides have been hiding, rare elements worth fortunes, in neutral space, free for anyone to claim. Now Thul's eyes gleamed with true interest. Anyone? Anyone? Kylara confirmed. My uncle and Admiral Reeves kept these secret to control the resources. But if this information became public, I would be the first to know the locations, Thul finished. His expression shifted to something almost like a smile. Very well, I will protect you. But first we must deal with your immediate problem. Thul spoke into his communication device. This is Station Master Thul to approaching human vessel. I am denying your request to board. This station is neutral territory under Merchants Guild protection. Any violation will be reported to the Guild Tribunal. The response came quickly, and it was Admiral Reeves himself. Thul, do not test me. I have a ship full of Marines ready to tear your station apart. I have recordings of this conversation that will be sent to every news agency in human space if anything happens to my station. Thul replied calmly. Think carefully, Admiral. Is your secret worth starting a war with the Merchants Guild? There was a long silence. Then Reeves spoke again, his voice tight with anger. This isn't over. The warship pulled back but did not leave.
Nice.
They will wait, Thul said. And when you leave my station, they will attack. You need a plan. Marcus knew Thul was right. But what plan could work against a warship? We need to broadcast the truth, Marcus said. If everyone knows about the conspiracy, Reeves and Vexther lose their power.
No?
Broadcasting will take time to set up, Thul said, and they will jam any signal from my station. Kylara suddenly gasped and fell to her knees. Marcus caught her before she hit the floor. What's wrong? He demanded. Her skin had gone pale, and her bioluminescent markings flickered weakly. Infection, she whispered. The wounds. Your medicine helped, but not enough. Marcus cursed. He should have known. Alien and human biology were too different. The infection had been growing slowly, and now it was killing her. Your medical bay, Marcus said to Thul, urgently. Now Thul led them to the station's medical facility. The doctor there was a human named Dr. Sarah Kim. She took one look at Kylara and shook her head. I've never treated a Velkari before, Dr. Kim admitted. I don't know their biology. Then learn fast, Marcus said desperately. Please. Dr. Kim worked for hours. She analyzed Kylara's blood, consulted medical databases, and tried different treatments. Nothing worked. The infection was spreading. I need Velkari medicine, Dr. Kim finally said. Antibiotics designed for their biology? I can't help her without it. Marcus looked at the monitor, showing the human warship waiting outside. Then he looked at Kylara, dying on the medical bed. There's a human military outpost on Theta 7, Marcus said. They captured Velkar medical supplies during the last battle. I know because I was there. You cannot be serious, Thel said. Want to raid a human military base while being hunted? By humans? Do you have a better idea? Marcus challenged. Thal was quiet. Dr. Kim pulled Marcus aside. Even if you get the medicine, she might not survive. The infection is advanced. I have to try, Marcus said. She saved my life with information and knowledge. I owe her the same. He turned to Kylara. Her eyes were barely open, but she was listening. Marcus. No, she whispered. Too dangerous. Let me die with honor. Honor can wait, Marcus said. I didn't carry you across a moon just to watch you die in a medical bay. He left before she could argue. The raid on the outpost was the most reckless thing Marcus had ever done. He used every trick he knew, every shadow, every moment of distraction. He was almost caught 3 times. But he got the Velkari medical supplies and escaped. When he returned to the station 12 hours later, exhausted and wounded, Dr. Kim grabbed the supplies and immediately went to work. Marcus collapsed in a chair outside the medical bay. Thul sat down beside him. You are either very brave or very foolish. It's probably both, Marcus admitted. Why? Thul asked. She is the enemy. Your people have fought hers for years. Why risk everything for her? Marcus thought about that question. He had asked himself the same thing many times. Because she's not just the enemy anymore, he finally said. She's someone who trusted me when she had no reason to. Someone who taught me her secrets to keep me alive. Someone who... He paused. Someone who deserves to live. Hours passed. Marcus dozed in his chair, too tired to move. He woke when Dr. Kim emerged from the medical bay. She'll live, Dr. Kim said with a tired smile. The Velkari medicine worked. She'd need rest, but she'd recover. Marcus felt relief wash over him like a wave. He entered the medical bay. Kalara was awake, her markings glowing steadily again. She looked at him with those swirling galaxy eyes. You are hurt, she said, noticing the wounds from his raid. I'm fine. You risked your life for me again. Yeah, well, Marcus said, sitting down beside her bed. I'm starting to make a habit of it. Kailara reached out and took his hand. Her skin was cool to the touch. Among my people, when someone saves your life twice, they become Kaltesh. There is no word for it in human language. It's closer than friend, deeper than ally, someone bound to you by scars and survival. Marcus looked at their joined hands. Human and Velkari, enemy species. And yet, in that moment, it felt right. Kaltesh, he repeated. I like that. Outside. Admiral Reeves's ship continued to wait. The danger had not passed. But for now, in the quiet of the medical bay, Marcus and Kailara had something neither had expected to find. They had each other. Part 4. Through fire and darkness, Skilla recovered quickly over the next 3 days. Velkar healing was faster than human, once the right medicine was applied. But recovery time was a luxury they could not afford for long. Marcus stood in Thul's office, studying the tactical display. The situation had gotten worse. Admiral Reeves's warship had been joined by 2 more human vessels. And now, 3 Velkari ships had also arrived, surrounding the station. They are coordinating, Thul said with disgust. Human and Velkari ships working together to trap you. In public, they are enemies. In private, they are allies. This proves your princess was telling the truth. We need to get this information out, Marcus said, to everyone. Human space, Velkari space, neutral zones, everywhere. I have been working on that, Thul replied. I can create a broadcast strong enough to reach multiple systems simultaneously. But the moment I begin transmitting, those ships will attack. They will destroy my station to stop the message. How long do you need? Marcus asked. 15 minutes for the signal to fully propagate. After that, they cannot stop it. The truth will spread like fire. Then we need to buy you 15 minutes, Kailara said from the doorway. She walked into the office looking much stronger. And I have an idea how, she explained her plan. It was dangerous and probably insane, but it might work. There is a shipping convoy scheduled to leave the station in 2 hours, Kailara said. 30 cargo ships heading to different destinations. Marcus and I will be on one of those ships. When the convoy launches, the blockading forces will have to choose. Let the convoy go and risk losing us. Or check every ship and break the Merchants Guild treaties. They will check every ship, Thul predicted. Exactly, Kailara agreed. And while they are busy searching 30 cargo ships, you begin your broadcast. By the time they realize we are not on any of the ships, the message will have spread too far to stop. Marcus understood. Will be the distraction. But where will we actually be? Kailara smiled, still on the station. Hidden. Then, when the blockade breaks to search the convoy, we take a small ship and escape during the chaos. Thul's eyes gleamed. Deceptive. I like it. Well, you'll need a very good hiding place. Those ships have advanced scanners. I know a place, Marcus said, remembering his training. Every station has radiation-shielded cargo holds for dangerous materials. Scanners cannot penetrate them, clever Thule admitted. Very well, I will arrange everything. The plan was set in motion. Marcus and Kailara hid in the radiation-shielded cargo hold while false biosignatures of them were placed on random cargo ships in the convoy. Thule had connections with smugglers who specialized in this kind of deception. From their hiding place, Marcus and Kailara could hear the convoy launch. They could hear the demands from the blockading ships, could hear Thul arguing about guild treaties and neutral trade rights. Now Thal's voice came through a hidden communicator. I am beginning the broadcast. Marcus felt his heart race. This was it, the moment that would change everything or get them killed. Through the station's structure, they felt the vibrations of weapons powering up. Blockading ships had realized what was happening. They are targeting my communication arrays, Thal reported, his voice tense. But I have redundancies. The message is spreading. 5 minutes until full propagation. An explosion rocked the station. The ships were firing. They have gone mad, Thule shouted over the communicator. They are attacking a neutral station in open space. This will start a diplomatic crisis. Only if anyone survives to report it, Marcus said grimly. Another explosion. Closer this time. The cargo hold shook. 10 minutes until propagation, Thal said. I am evacuating non-essential personnel. You two need to move. Head to Docking Bay 7. I have prepared a ship for you. Marcus and Kylara emerged from their hiding place into chaos. Station personnel were running everywhere. Alarms blared. Emergency lights flashed. Sections of the station were venting atmosphere. They ran through the corridors toward Docking Bay 7. Behind them they could hear hull breaches and the sounds of the station breaking apart. This way, Marcus called, pulling Kylara down a side passage. They rounded a corner and stopped. Blocking their path were 4 figures in power armor. Valkyrie Death Squad. The elite hunters that had been searching for Kylara since the beginning. The leader removed his helmet. His face was scarred and cold. Princess Kylara, Lord Vexther sends his regards. Talmar, Kylara said, recognizing him. You are my father's champion. How could you betray him? Your father is dead, Talmar replied. I serve the throne. Vexther sits on the throne. Therefore, I serve him. You serve a murderer? Kylara said. Serve power. Step away from the human princess. Your death will be quick and honorable. His will not be. Marcus raised his rifle, but he knew it was hopeless. For trained warriors, in power armor against one human and an injured princess, they could not win this fight. Yalara stepped forward, placing herself between Marcus and the death squad. There is something you do not know, Talmar, she said. Something my bloodline kept secret for generations. Her bioluminescent markings suddenly blazed with brilliant light. The air around her seemed to vibrate. The royal bloodline has abilities, Kylara continued, her voice changing, becoming deeper and resonant. Abilities only activated in moments of extreme need. My father never used his. My sisters died before they could manifest theirs. But the light from her markings became blinding. Marcus shielded his eyes. I have awakened mine, Kylara said. She released a scream that was not quite sound. It was something psychic, something that bypassed the ears and struck directly at the mind. The Death Squad warriors collapsed, their helmets cracking from the internal pressure. Even Marcus felt it, like a hammer blow to his thoughts. Kylara had somehow shielded him from the worst of it. Then she collapsed. Marcus caught her before she hit the deck. Her markings had gone dim, almost black. Her breathing was shallow. Kylara. Marcus shook her gently. Kylara, stay with me. Her eyes opened slightly. That ability should only be used once in a lifetime. It burns the life force. She coughed weakly. But we needed to survive. Marcus looked at the fallen death squad, then at Kylara, dying in his arms. Again, she had sacrificed herself to save him. You are not dying here, Marcus said firmly. Not after everything we have been through. He lifted her and ran. His muscles screamed in protest. His lungs burned. But he did not stop. Docking Bay 7 appeared ahead. Thal stood beside a small, fast ship. His station was falling apart around him, but he had kept his word. 13 minutes, Tho said as Marcus carried Kylara aboard. The message has propagated. It cannot be stopped now. Every major news network in human and Valkyrie space is receiving the data. The truth is spreading. What about you? Marcus asked. I have other stations. This one is lost, but I will rebuild. Go. Before the blockade realizes the convoy was a distraction. Marcus secured Kylara in the co-pilot seat and took the controls. He had basic flight training enough to escape. The ship's engines roared to life. Marcus Kalara whispered. "Thank you for everything. Save your strength," he replied. "We are not done yet." The ship launched from the dying station into open space. Behind them, Haven's End exploded as the blockading forces finished their destruction. But they were too late. The truth was already out. Ahead, Marcus saw human and Valkyrie ships breaking formation, receiving the broadcast, beginning to question their orders. "We did it," Marcus said in amazement. "We actually did it." Kylara smiled weakly. "We make a good team, Kaltesh." "Yeah," Marcus agreed. "We really do." But their journey was not over. Now came the hardest part, surviving long enough to see what their truth would create. Marcus set course for neutral space, carrying the last true heir of the Valkyrie throne and the evidence that would shake to empires. Behind them, the war they had known was ending. Ahead, something new was beginning. Part 5. A New Dawn. The broadcast changed everything. Within hours, the evidence of conspiracy reached billions of people across human and Valkyrie space. News networks showed the communications between Lord Vexther and Admiral Reeves. They revealed the coordinated attacks designed to prolong the war. They exposed the hidden mineral deposits that both sides had kept secret. The reaction was immediate and explosive. In human space, protests erupted on every major world. People demanded answers. How many had died for a manufactured conflict? How many resources had been wasted on a war that was controlled from the shadows? Admiral Reeves was arrested within days, along with 17 other high-ranking officers who had been part of the conspiracy in Valkyrie space. The response was even more dramatic. Lord Vexther's support crumbled overnight. The military commanders who had remained loyal to the true royal bloodline saw their opportunity. Within a week, Vexther was overthrown in a swift coup. He was executed in the traditional manner by the same broken blade that should have been used to kill Kylara. Marcus and Kylara watched these events unfold from a safe house on a neutral world called Meridian. Thul had arranged it, calling it payment for the mineral coordinates that had already made him extremely wealthy. The safe house was comfortable, with medical facilities for Kylara's continued recovery from using her royal ability. "Now my people are calling for me," Kylara said one morning, reading messages on a datapad. "The loyalist forces want me to return. To take the throne." Marcus looked up from his own reading. "Will you go?" "I must," Kylara replied. "My people need leadership. They need healing after Vexer's betrayal." "But Marcus?" She hesitated. "I want you to come with me." "Me? To the Valkyrie homeworld?" Marcus laughed. "I am human. Your people have been fighting mine for 3 years. You saved their princess. Twice, you exposed the conspiracy that was killing both our peoples." Kylara stood and walked to him. "You are cultish, bound to me by scars and survival. In our culture, that means something. It means everything." Before Marcus could respond, his own communication device activated. It was a message from the new human government that had formed after Reeves's arrest. "Captain Chen," the message began. "Your actions have brought to light a conspiracy that shamed our nation. While your methods were unorthodox, your service to the truth was invaluable. You were hereby cleared of all charges and offered a position as a special envoy to the Valkyrie people. Should they accept you?" Marcus showed the message to Kylara. She smiled, that beautiful alien smile he had grown to recognize. "It seems fate has decided for us," she said. 2 weeks later, Marcus stood beside Kylara on a transport ship approaching the Valkyrie homeworld. Through the viewport, he could see it, a planet of crystalline cities that caught the light of their sun and scattered it into rainbows. It was beautiful in a way that no human world could match. "Nervous?" Kylara asked. "Terrified," Marcus admitted. "I am about to land on a planet where everyone wanted to kill me a month ago." "Not everyone. Just Vexther and his followers. The rest of my people are curious about you. The human who saved their princess, the warrior who showed mercy when he could have shown cruelty." The ship landed in the capital city. As Marcus and Kylara descended the ramp, they were met by thousands of Valkyrie. Marcus tensed, expecting hostility. Instead, they bowed. They honor you, Kylara whispered. They honor what you represent. The possibility of peace. The coronation ceremony was held in the Grand Crystal Hall, a structure so beautiful that Marcus could barely comprehend it. Kylara was crowned Empress of the Velkari people with ancient rituals that had been performed for thousands of years. She wore robes that shimmered with the same bioluminescent glow as her markings. Marcus stood beside her, wearing a formal uniform that combined human and Velkari elements. It had been designed specifically for him, a symbol of the new cooperation between their peoples. After the ceremony, the real work began. Kylara and Marcus worked together to organize the first joint human Velkari council. It was held on Meridian, the neutral world where they had hidden. Representatives from both sides arrived with suspicion and hostility. The war might have been exposed as a conspiracy, but the hatred and fear remained. This will not be easy, Marcus said the night before the first council meeting. Nothing worth doing is easy, Kylara replied. They stood on a balcony overlooking Meridian's capital city. But we have proven that cooperation is possible. We are living proof. The council meetings were difficult. There were arguments about borders, about reparations, about prisoners of war. There were moments when Marcus thought the whole thing would collapse into renewed conflict. But slowly, progress was made. Trade agreements were signed. Prisoners were exchanged. Demilitarized zones were established. It was not perfect, and it was not fast, but it was real. 6 months after the broadcast, a ceremony was held on Theta 7, the dead moon, where Marcus had first found Kylara's crashed escape pod. A monument was built there, made of both human steel and Velkari crystal. At the base of the monument was the broken blade. The same blade Marcus had held over Kylara that first day, contemplating whether to finish her or save her. But now, the blade had been reforged. A human metallurgist and a Velkari artisan had worked together for weeks. They had taken the two broken pieces and joined them with a new alloy created from both human and Velkari metals. The reforged blade was stronger than it had ever been before. This blade represents our past, Kylara said during the dedication ceremony, speaking to the crowd of humans and Velkari who had gathered. Broken by conflict, divided by war. But it also represents our future. Reforged through cooperation, strengthened by unity. Marcus stood beside her, watching the crowd. He saw human soldiers standing next to Velkari warriors. He saw families who had lost loved ones in the war, now meeting the former enemy face to face. He saw fear slowly transforming into hope. When I crashed on this moon, Kylara continued, I was dying and alone. I asked a human soldier to make a choice. Finish me or save me. He chose to save me, even though I was his enemy, even though it would have been easier to let me die. That choice changed everything. She turned to Marcus. That choice showed me that humanity's greatest strength is not your weapons or your ships. It is your capacity for mercy. Your ability to see the person beyond the enemy. Your courage to choose the harder path because it is the right path. The crowd applauded. Marcus felt embarrassed by the attention, but Kylara took his hand. Those cool alien fingers intertwining with his human ones. Later, after the ceremony ended, Marcus and Kylara walked alone to the cave where they had first hidden together. It was unchanged, still dark and cold and empty. Hard to believe it has only been 8 months, Marcus said. It feels like a lifetime ago. For both of us, it was a lifetime, Kylara replied. We died on this moon. The princess who fled her murderous uncle, the soldier who followed orders without question, those people are gone. We are different now. Better. Marcus asked. Yes, better. Kylara smiled. We are Kaltesh. We are bound by scars and survival. We are proof that enemies can become allies. That war can become peace. That broken things can be reforged into something stronger. In the distance, he could see ships. Human ships and Velkari ships flying together in joint patrols, protecting the trade routes that had opened between their peoples, guarding the peace that was still fragile but growing stronger every day. What happens now? Marcus asked. Now we continue the work, Kylara said. We build the peace we fought for. We show both our peoples that cooperation is not just possible, but beneficial. We create a future where human children and Velkari children do not grow up learning to hate each other. That is a big job. Yes, but we have already done the impossible. We survived when both our peoples wanted us dead. We exposed a conspiracy that controlled two empires. We ended a war that was designed to never end. Kylara leaned against him, her head resting on his shoulder. Compared to that, building peace seems easy. Marcus laughed. You have a strange definition of easy. They stood together in comfortable silence, watching the ships patrol overhead. Two people from different worlds, different species, different everything. United by the choices they had made and the future they were building together. The war was not completely over. There were still incidents, still hardliners on both sides who wanted to return to conflict. Still people who saw the peace as weakness or betrayal. But there were also more people every day who saw hope, who saw opportunity, who saw the possibility of something better than endless war. And at the center of it all were Marcus and Kylara. The human and the Velkari, the soldier who chose mercy and the princess who offered trust, the two who had been given a choice on a dead moon under broken stars, finish me or save me. Marcus had chosen to save, and in doing so, he had saved far more than one alien princess. He had saved the possibility of peace. He had saved the future. They walked back to their ship hand in hand, ready to continue the work. There would be more challenges, more obstacles, more people who doubted that peace could last. But Marcus and Kylara had something those doubters did not have. They had each other. They had proof that cooperation worked. They had a bond forged in fire and darkness, in survival and sacrifice. They had hope, and sometimes, hope was enough to change everything. Behind them, on the monument, the reforged blade caught the light of the setting sun. No longer broken, no longer divided, stronger than it had ever been before. Just like the peace it represented, just like the future promised, just like the two people who had made it all possible.